Ramadan does not arrive quietly. Even before it begins, hearts start anticipating it. Believers feel a subtle shift in the air, a sense that something sacred is approaching. This month is not just a time period, it is a divine atmosphere. It carries a spiritual climate that changes how people think, feel, and live. Throughout the year, the heart becomes tired. Life moves fast. Mistakes accumulate. Distractions grow louder. People drift without realizing it. Ramadan arrives like a rescue. It is a gentle interruption from heaven, reminding humanity that they are more than their routines and cravings. It calls the believer back to their original purpose. This month is a sanctuary in time. It is a protected space where spiritual wounds can heal. It teaches that the soul needs nourishment just as much as the body. While the stomach empties, the heart fills. While worldly noise fades, divine remembrance rises. Ramadan is a return to balance. A restoration of what life slowly takes away. Ramadan as a month of mercy. Mercy defines Ramadan from beginning to end. It is a season designed to remind believers that they are not abandoned to their mistakes. Divine compassion is not rare, it is abundant. Ramadan magnifies that compassion so clearly that even the most distant hearts feel invited back. Many people carry silent burdens into Ramadan: regret over past actions, shame over repeated sins, fear that they have gone too far. This month answers those fears with reassurance. It teaches that the door of forgiveness is not fragile. It does not close easily. It waits patiently. The believer experiences mercy not only spiritually but emotionally. Hearts soften. Anger weakens. Old grudges feel heavier to hold. Forgiving others becomes easier because the believer is seeking forgiveness for themselves. Mercy becomes contagious. It spreads from the Creator to the servant, and from the servant to the world. Ramadan rebuilds hope. It tells every believer, your story is not finished. Your past does not imprison you. Renewal is always possible. The virtue of fasting. Fasting is one of the most powerful acts of worship because it confronts the self directly. It exposes how much of daily life revolves around comfort and desire. When food and drink are removed, hidden habits appear. Irritation surfaces. Weakness becomes visible. But this exposure is not meant to shame, it is meant to awaken awareness. Through fasting, the believer meets their true self. Hunger strips away illusion. It reminds the human being that they are fragile and dependent. Every moment of thirst becomes a quiet lesson in humility. The fast teaches gratitude not through theory, but through experience. A single sip of water at sunset becomes a celebration of provision. Fasting also builds inner authority. It proves that the soul can lead the body instead of being dragged by it. This is spiritual empowerment. The believer learns that discipline is not restriction, it is freedom. Freedom from addiction to comfort. Freedom from impulsive behavior. Freedom from being controlled by appetite. This training reshapes character. A fasting person learns patience in traffic, restraint in arguments, and gentleness in speech. The fast is meant to reach the tongue, the eyes, the ears, and the heart. It is a full-body act of worship that polishes every part of a person. The virtue of the Qur'an. Ramadan reconnects believers with divine speech. The Qur'an is not merely recited in this month, it is rediscovered. Verses that once felt distant suddenly feel intimate. Words read many times before now land differently. The heart becomes more receptive, as if fasting clears the noise that usually blocks understanding. The Qur'an in Ramadan acts like light entering a dark room. It reveals what needs to change but also shows what is beautiful inside the believer. It does not only correct. It comforts. It does not only command, it heals. When believers sit with the Qur'an in Ramadan, they are sitting with guidance that transcends time. Its wisdom reaches into modern anxieties, personal struggles, and hidden fears. It answers questions people are afraid to voice. It reminds them that they are seen and understood. The goal is not quantity alone. It is presence. Even a short passage read with reflection can transform a day. The Qur'an during Ramadan becomes a companion. A steady voice guiding the believer toward clarity and peace. The virtue of charity and generosity. Ramadan awakens generosity because fasting sensitizes the heart. When a person feels hunger, they become more aware of suffering. Empathy is no longer theoretical, it is physical. This awareness pushes believers to act. Charity during Ramadan is a purification process. It cleans wealth from greed and the heart from attachment. Giving reminds the believer that possessions are temporary trusts, not permanent ownership. Every act of charity declares confidence that provision comes from the Creator, not from hoarding. Generosity in this month extends beyond money. It appears in patience with family, kindness to strangers, and service to the community. A believer learns that worship is not confined to prayer spaces. It lives in daily interactions. Ramadan transforms generosity into joy. The giver does not feel loss. They feel expansion. The more they share, the lighter the heart becomes. The virtue of night worship. The nights of Ramadan carry a spiritual intimacy that daytime cannot replicate. Darkness removes distraction. Silence amplifies sincerity. When a believer stands in prayer at night, they stand stripped of performance. There is no audience except the one who created them. Night worship is where honesty lives. It is where fears are confessed, hopes are whispered, and tears fall without restraint. These moments create a deep personal connection that strengthens faith beyond ritual. The believer feels heard in a way that reshapes their entire outlook on life. Waking up for prayer when the body wants sleep is an act of love. It proves priority. It shows what the heart truly values. Over time, these nights carve humility into the soul and replace anxiety with trust. Laylat al-Qadr. The hidden night within Ramadan is a symbol of divine generosity beyond human calculation. A single night that outweighs a lifetime teaches a powerful lesson: spiritual success is not limited by time, it is multiplied by mercy. Seeking this night changes behavior. Believers push past laziness. They give effort they did not think they had. They rediscover spiritual hunger. Laylat al-Qadr trains consistency, urgency, and sincerity. It also teaches that greatness can be hidden. Just as the night is concealed, so are many blessings in life. The believer learns to search deeply, strive sincerely, and never underestimate a moment of worship. Strengthening community bonds. Ramadan weaves individuals into a collective rhythm. Entire communities fast together, break fast together, and pray together. This shared experience dissolves barriers. Differences fade in the presence of common devotion. Families heal. Friendships renew. Mosques become centers of warmth and belonging. Even strangers greet one another with familiarity. Ramadan rebuilds social trust and reminds believers that faith thrives in unity. The hunger of Ramadan equalizes humanity. Rich and poor feel the same emptiness during the day. This shared vulnerability fosters humility and compassion. It creates a society where awareness of others becomes natural. Personal transformation. Ramadan is proof that change is possible because it demonstrates it in real time. Within days, behavior shifts. Speech becomes softer. Anger slows. Awareness sharpens. A person who thought discipline was impossible suddenly lives it daily. This transformation is not accidental. It is the result of intentional structure. Ramadan removes excess and replaces it with purpose. It shows believers what they are capable of when guided by devotion. The true test begins after the month ends. The believer is invited to carry Ramadan forward, to protect the habits built and the clarity gained. The month is not an isolated event, it is a blueprint for the rest of life. Ramadan is a mercy disguised as effort and a gift wrapped in discipline. It empties the body to fill the soul. It weakens desire to strengthen will. It exposes flaws to heal them. Every year, it returns as a reminder that renewal is always within reach. No heart is beyond repair. No believer is locked into their past. The door remains open. The one who honors Ramadan does not simply complete a month, they begin a journey. They walk away lighter, clearer, and closer to the person they were meant to be. And the light of Ramadan is meant to continue shining long after the crescent disappears. To keep getting better, faster answers. Try plus free.